What is up, people of the extranet? Tyler here with Random Automotive, and we already have issues. So today we're going to be checking the compression on this old 258. Before I sink too much money into it, I kind of want to know how we're doing there. So I went ahead and pulled all the plugs, and as you can tell, they are very carbon fouled. That's something we're going to address in a future episode, so you'll want to see, but they're very black. I'm surprised they were even firing at all. The next issue, you can see here, here's 4 of my plug wires completely disintegrated. I'm sorry, 5 of my plug wires completely disintegrated when I pulled them off. So I got to get new plug wires. Hopefully I can find some, because I don't know. Maybe you guys will call me an amateur and I don't know what I'm doing, but I hate these that you make yourself. Every time I made them, they never last. I don't know. I like the pre-made ones from the factory. At least I can blame somebody else when they go bad. Anyway, so what I've done here, ignore this. This is for my reference later. I've wrote down cylinder 1 through 6, and I'm going to hook a compression tester up. These Jeeps like 125, 150 pounds of pressure when you test them. However, I'm not really expecting this out of this old motor, but what we want to see is if there's any substantial differences between cylinders 1 through 6. So let's get started. So typically you don't want to have fuel going to the cylinders when you do this. There's no spark, so there's no chance of it really lighting off, but still. However, I was smart and ran my Jeep out of gas the other day, so there's no gas in it anyway. So this is the line that comes with the compression test kit. And what you do is you basically screw that in your spark plug hole nice and even, if I can get a good thread there. And you want to make sure too that your thread matches up with your spark plug. There's usually a couple in that test kit. Sometimes it takes a little while to get it right because you're not wrenching this on. Once that's on and nice and tight, it doesn't have to be like wrench tight. You will take your gauge end, and it is a quick connect, so you'll push this back and snap this in. Okay, so make sure your meter's at 0, all air is released by pushing that button. I've got the jumper pack on there just because the battery's probably about dead, that terminal's loose. We head over here. You're not going to hear the normal sound you normally hear. Without spark plugs, the starter's going to go more like wheat, but you'll hear a gallop on that one spark plug. Let it run through a couple cycles, and then what I like to do too is hold the throttle wide open when you do it. You hear that gallop? That's the one cylinder. Okay. Battery box is fussing at me. And we should have a reading on this gauge if all went well. And we do of 100. Not great, but let's write that down. Alright, so we just repeat the process for cylinders 2 through 6, as they are labeled here, and I'll get back with you here in a minute. And the results. So, as you can see, cylinders 1, 4, and 6 are pretty consistent at 100. I expected it to be a little bit lower, but not too bad. However, 2 and 3 are quite substantially higher, more in range of what they should be, and 5 is down to 92. So that tells me that, kind of the confirmed suspicion, that we have a very tired motor here, which we knew. I don't think it's a head gasket issue. I don't think we're losing compression on the top end. I think it's probably more of a piston ring issue because I do have some burning oil. At any rate, though, what we'll do is we will clean this mess up. In the next episode, we're going to change these spark plug wires too, I guess, presumably, and the spark plugs. And we got to do the fuel system. Now, you may say, it's old, it's tired, is it even worth saving at this point when you get numbers like this? And truth be told, a lot of people wouldn't, but I think just a nice little tune-up and just ride it out until we don't have any more to go, and then it finally breaks, I think is probably the key way to go that. I mean, I don't think there's much in saving this 250,000 mile motor, but, you know, if we can get a couple more hard miles out of it, why not? So the plan's going to be to replace this fuel line, replace that fuel filter, the lines downstream, and then put a regulator on it because I'm getting 7 psi out of the pump. Those Weber carbs like about 3, so I think that's one of the reasons that we're getting these black plugs. And you can see they're very fouled. They're all gapped properly, but they're just, I mean, I'm surprised these are even firing. And then we're going to replace the plugs and wires and see if we can at least get it back on the road for now. So, and we also got to bleed the clutch system and see if we need to replace some cylinders in there or not. So keep posted. Of course, we'll catch you in the next one. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and we'll keep trucking along.